Before I begin, I sincerely apologize to all French persons everywhere for my unfortunate pronunciation of the name Jean-Paul Sartre. 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 Again, sorry. An important figure in the philosophical school of thought known as existentialism, he is also famous for having voluntarily declined the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1964, becoming the first person ever to do so. The short play No Exit, which you read for today, is one of his most well known and beloved works due to its accessibility and relative brevity. There are several different ways to appreciate and analyze this work, for example, as performance art in theater, or as object of literary analysis, or even as social commentary on Nazi-occupied Paris during World War II. In our Intro to Philosophy course, we will try to understand the philosophical relevance of this work to our ongoing discussion about personal identity. Rather than summarizing the plot of this short one-act play, let us instead highlight some of the not-so-obvious themes and questions that you might have missed in your first read-through. Carefully consider and reconsider the following to prepare for in-class discussions. In the description of this video, you will also find a link to a BBC video performance of the play. First, note carefully how each of these three characters, with subtle differences, are guilty of infidelity or, for our purposes, being in, quote, bad faith. Based on our preliminary in-class conversations about the play, how would you answer the following question? That is, beyond being unfaithful to their respective spouses or facilitating unfaithful behaviors in others through seduction, what is the more fundamental betrayal that each of these characters commit to be in bad faith? And if we can answer that question because we have properly understood what Sartre was trying to say about what being in bad faith means, then how should we understand its apparent opposite as being in good faith? How would each of these characters' stories have played out differently if they had been in good faith? Moreover, the title of the play is No Exit, but clearly there is one, isn't there? Garcin demands to be let out of the room, and the door opens. The gates of hell have unexpectedly opened, and he is apparently free to leave, but he does not. Well, why not? And what is Sartre trying to tell us, the audience and readers of this play, about our own ability or inability to leave the existential nightmares in which we might find ourselves? Is there an exit? What keeps us in that room? And this is the real point. Sartre didn't write this play just to entertain his audience in the way that we might find ourselves indulging in reality TV show conflicts, for us to point our collective fingers at these three fictional characters and say to ourselves in relief, well, I can be bad, but at least I'm not like those people. In other words, Sartre's actual purpose here is for these characters to serve as a mirror for his audience. They are reflections of us. In what ways do we also exhibit some of these very symptoms, as we see in Garcin, Estelle, and Inez? Lastly, pay close attention to what is arguably one of the most important, but also frequently misinterpreted quotes in the play. Hell is other people. What do you think this quote means in context? Is this really Sartre's own conclusion, the so-called moral lesson of the play? Or is this another example of the reason why Garcin and people like him find themselves unable to escape? Understanding the meaning of this quote, which will be the focus of our in-class discussion, is the key to unlocking Sartre's existentialist philosophy and will provide a launching pad for our next unit on free will and determinism.